Good morning.
Good
How are you?
morning. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Doing well. Did you get Kelsey off?
Yeah,
Good. Is
yeah.
she homesick or is she having a good time?
She was at first. The first few days were really tough, but she's past that now.
Oh,
Big
good.
time. Yeah, she loves it. She loves it.
Good.
So,
That's wonderful. So
yeah.
is she in the training phase right now or does she?
Yes and no. I mean, it's just a cashier at a general store, so
Yeah.
but she's been working and she's probably still learning and all, but she had the last 2 days off, and Saturday they went to Old Faithful,
Oh,
and and then yesterday she and some other people drove out to West Yellowstone because they had to get permits for their cars and all, and they went to like this bear and wolf sanctuary, and she's already seen wildlife out there, and
I bet.
yeah, yeah. So
Wow.
mother bear and cub from a distance, and
Oh my goodness.
yeah,
So do they kind of teach them what to do if they were to?
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
That I think that was one of the first things that they learned.
Yeah,
So yeah.
definitely.
So she
That's
was telling she was telling us the other day that a tourist, it was a total accident, but she got injured by a bison, but she's okay because I guess she was doing something and came around a corner and there was like a bison right there, and she startled the bison and the bison kind of charged her. So, but she's okay, but it was like no fault of her own. And
right.
so, yeah.
Oh, they probably will hear stories like that all the time, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe with people that just don't even, they don't understand and they walk right
Oh,
up
yeah.
to things,
Mm-hmm.
thinking, oh, I just want a
Mm-hmm.
picture.
She said that when they were at Old Faithful the other day, there was somebody who climbed over and got off the boardwalk to get closer, and it's like an idiot.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's how. Remember a few years ago, the people in Yosemite who climbed over the railing to get a closer look at the fall or something. And like, really? It's there for a reason. So,
exactly. Exactly. Yes. And didn't that same place
so
that
how did your test go?
good, I passed.
Oh, yay! I'm
Yeah,
sorry, the connection is a little unstable, it says. So
that's
it's
what I just,
clicking.
okay. Okay, hopefully it's okay.
Yeah.
Yes, so yep, I
Yay.
passed. Yay, I
Good.
know.
Good for
No, thank
you.
you. No more studying. I know. I was so happy. So, yes.
Did you find it that same day? Oh, good.
Yeah.
So you
I
didn't have to wait.
found out the
Awesome.
same day. Yeah, it's kind of funny. They take your results and they staple them. Well, they take your paper and fold it in half and staple it, and they tell you don't read it until you leave the building. It's like, okay, they're you know, very strict. When I had to go to the restroom, they have a proctor go with you, and it's
Hmm.
because they've had so many people try to cheat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that makes sense. So,
That's
but yes,
unfortunate. Yeah.
I know. So
Yay, Jill.
yes, yes. So, all right. Well, we'll go ahead and get started.
Okay.
Here we go. All right, let's start off with words. Sell, reached, convenience, public, poor, store, times, street, original, continue, past, planning, save, understanding, judgment, boys, recently, mine, papers, committee, file, whom, entirely, lines, style, consideration, catalog, tonight, wire, delivery, means, reach, usual, excuse, beautiful, water, correspondence, expensive. All right. Now, here are some words that end with final CH, final M, final LT. Reach, ham, melt. Match, ram, pelt. Rum, dealt, catch. Skim, peach, dolt. Leech, cam, belt. Fault, hatch, hum. Botch, halt, doom. Dam, salt, rich. Patch, welt, some. Molt, watch, him. Tam, felt, beach. Tilt, roam, witch. Hutch, seam, silt. All right, and we'll finish. There's more, but I will finish the rest tomorrow on that one. Now here are some phrases. You're going to phrase as much as you can. Here you go. About how large, about how long, about how many, about how much, about how often, how about, on or about, what about, according to, all right, sir, all the, is that all, that is all, are also, is also, what I am, where I am, whether I am, whether or not I am, which I am, are also, are the, that are, that you are, there are, we are, what you are, when you are, where you are, whether or not you are, whether you are, which are, as a matter of fact, as a matter of law, as a result, as far as follows, as I understand, as long as much as soon as. All right. Here are some sentences that focus on final consonants PT, PTS, PL, PZ, PLZ. Here we go. I will not disrupt your stops. He swaps this for that. He had a rapt expression. We had crepes for lunch. The flaps were kept dry. Throw the scraps off the steeple. She weeps as she sweeps. Corrupt cops are rare. We made an abrupt stop. The tops of the steps were replaced. Triple the amount of the gift. Staples enhance a diet. It was a new concept in drapes. She drops everything. They removed their tops to swim. Can you adapt to the change? Small drips and large drops are common. He kept the maple syrup. She types while on trips. I will attempt to adopt you. All right. Here are some words that start with intra. Here we go. Intracoastal, intracellular, intra-airport, intranuclear, intrapersonal, intraspinal, intraocular, intrastate, intravascular, intramuscular, intravenous, intramural, intracranial, intracostal, intragalactic. All right. And then now we've got words with miss. Here we go. Misadventure, misinform, misjudge, misapply, mislabel, misbehave, mislead, miscalculate, mismanage, miscarry, misplace, misconception, mispronounce, misquote, misconduct, misread, misdeed, misfile, misfit, misfire, misrepresent, misspell, misspoke, mistreat, mistrial, misfortune, misguided, mishandled, mistrust, misworded, mishear. Okay, and the last one are words with mono. Here we go. Monoplane, monogram, monochrome, monochromatic, monomaniac, monophonic, monorail, monolingual, monolith, monosyllable, monosyllabic, monolithic, monotheism, monotone, and monologue. All right.
So is there a prefix for mono or a?
Are you talking about like a brief for mono?
Yeah, rather than MON
They-
come back for long O.
They just have it as mon. So they don't come, this sheet here does not, I come back for it, but they have it as like, so if it's monochrome, they just do mon and then chrome. They don't
Okay.
come back for the O. Yeah. Yep. So that's exactly what this one does here.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, which is good. You know, you really don't need to come back for the O. All right. Now I've got some sentences that focus on long A. Then we have sentences that focus on long I. Let's see, are there any long E's? Yep, there's some long E's and long U. Here we go. Are you able to play? The snake scared me. Fame cannot be feigned. The sale was a fake. The blaze was a shame. Did you bake a cake? Did you blame Raymond? Did you name the mayor? Jane wore basic beige. That gray won't fade. Prepay the brake job. Faye broke the blade. The car gets good care. The old lamb went lame. The cat is named Kate. The lake lacks water. Bake in the back room. May broke the blade. Now, long I. The flight is at night. The child minds well. Add chives and endive. That guy has a knife. Hike up to that mine. Use a nice mild wine. Paint a white stripe. My bike needs a tire. Sue the liar for libel. Don't mind the binding. The wood pile is pine. Denver is a mile high. He cited it twice. I am a trifle biased. Climb up very high. Fiber makes it pliant. Fry over a hot fire. Okay, long E. He seems to be fleet. The keel is all steel. We will meet in a week. I feel deeply about it. The chief needs help. My feet are freezing. Peter did good deeds. Creep up on the thief. Wield a steel sword. The chief was peeved. The sheets don't meet. I sneezed and sneezed. A bee stung my heel. Feel the heavy tweed. Veer off the freeway. Paula has a keen mind. My heel is bleeding. The Jeep veered left. Okay, now long U, last one. The youth is immature. Bruce refused to duel. Don't ridicule Luther. Ruth cut her cuticle. His humor was uncouth. He's a gruesome brute. The dude came unglued. The tutor is resolute. Dilute the mint julep. Julia got a pedicure. Beulah got a manicure. The truant is furious. Refuse to do the fusion. Excuse his rudeness. A miniature is useful. The student was Cuban. Pursuit is subterfuge. Luke measured the cube. All right. Numbers. Here are some names and addresses. Here we go. Debbie R. Olson, Olsen, Route 1, Box 15, St. Augusta, Montana, 59865. Renee L. Carmichael, Carmichael, 1684 Mechanicsburg Road, Wooster, Ohio, 44691. Warren Branch Library, 9701 East 21st Street, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46259. Ms. Linda A. Brannon, Brannon, P.O. Box 2931, Rome, Georgia 30161. Rhoda D. Buyer, Buyer, 3050 North Birch Road, Bremen, Indiana 46506. Wendy L. Peters, Peters, P.O. Box 172, Scottsville, Virginia 24590. Rachel S. Savory, Savory, P.O. Box 914, Whitestone, Virginia 22578. Wanda M. Metz, Metz, Ripley High School, Ripley, West Virginia 25271. Marie V. Matusa, Matooza, 101 East Street, Hicksville, New York 11801. All right. Let's move on to literary and jury charge. I have an article here from the NCRA magazine, and this is called, "Would you recommend this career?" Here we go. Ready? Question. I speak to quite a number of high school students who come through our court system. I have a high school senior who has shadowed me and is interested in coming back soon. Here's my concern. Since I started reporting in 2000, I have heard that we will be placed by technology. My response is that I embraced technology, as most of us have, to make ourselves more valuable. But we are facing a huge shortage of reporters here, as we are nationwide. The question is it appropriate to be encouraging new recruits into the field, especially knowing how tough it is to get through the program? What would you tell a high school senior who is interested in reporting, captioning, or CART as a career? I know you've been in this field since its heyday. Where do you see things going over the next decade or so? Signed, Concerned Reporter. And then answer. I actually get this question quite a bit, and I haven't changed my answer one bit. Yes, I still recommend this profession to anyone who will listen. even after 26 years in the business, we have evolved to be a fairly high-tech profession. But then again, who hasn't? And I think you somewhat answered the question saying that since 2000, you have heard will be replaced by technology. There hasn't yet been a mass rush to replace steno captioners with voice writers because they, as individuals, just like steno reporters, have many issues to overcome in order to be able to provide readable captions. Here is the basic reason. The quality steno cart provider or captioner is still the highest standard and will remain so because voice folks are still having a tough time. Voice writers have been creeping into the captioning industry because of a lack of steno captioners, but they are few and far between. Some voice writers receive only minimum training before going out to work, which can mean a lower cost for the employer. Realistically, employers balance quality and cost. But I asked this question of the voice writers who are putting out transcripts and captions as accurate as most steno writers I know. Why accept lower rates than steno captioners if we're doing the same thing? I think the issue will come around shortly and that the market will weed out the bad voice writers, just like it does bad cart and steno captioners. Yes, there is a huge shortage of reporters. The schools are getting more difficult with more technology, which is necessary. Nobody wants to spend more time or money on school. And the students want to be hand-fed their education and profession. These issues are all important ones, and they affect each of us as we work, whether we think so or not. I have been a very busy broadcast captioner for more than 15 years now. Each year, my income goes up and increases because of more programming. Looking in my crystal ball for the next 20 years, I hope to retire. I'm as busy now as I was many years ago, and I can easily afford to cut my schedule in half. The problem is there aren't enough captioners to cover my job and the programming. So I'm hoping to see more captioners trained at high quality levels. More and more programming is live. So we need more live captioners. The organizations for deaf and hard of hearing people are lobbying like crazy, making more opportunities available. The internet and those areas are growing drastically. Distance learning opportunities are also growing drastically. I just don't see a downside at this point. And I've always been optimistic about this profession. You might want to check out the Yahoo Broadcast Captioning Group. It is a large forum with captioners, students, wannabes, and so forth. And it is a great place to get many other opinions. All right, so we're going to stop there. There's more. Because then she goes on to say, I asked the NCRA's president, and then she also gives her input. So we'll stop there, and I'll finish the rest tomorrow. All right, so we'll do some, let's do some jury charge. And the subject here is interpretation of state law. Here we go. I agree that the state action was properly enjoined, and so I concur in the opinion of the court to that extent, but I dissent from the direction to the district court to hold the case while the parties repair the state court to get an interpretation of the Louisiana statute around which this litigation turns. That procedure is advisable where private parties question the constitutionality of a state statute. An authoritative construction of the state law may avoid the constitutional issue or put it in new perspective. Under Section 1331, the federal district court has jurisdiction where the matter in controversy exceeds the jurisdictional amount and arises under the Constitution, laws, or treaties of the United States. In litigation in the federal courts under that statute, it is necessary for the state to arise because of the federal court's duty to avoid, if possible, a federal constitutional question. Here, although potential questions may lurk in the background, this litigation primarily concerns title to land claimed by the United States. It is litigation which Congress, by sections 1345 and 1346, has entrusted to the federal district court. Those sections allow civil litigation of the United States to be conducted in the federal courts. In that situation, it is the duty of the federal court to decide all issues in the case, those turning on state law as well as those turning on federal law. In Raymond versus Clark, a case in the federal courts, by reason of diversity of citizenship, we refused to permit the parties to the state court for decision of difficult state law questions. We held that it was the duty of the federal court to decide all issues in the case, state or federal, difficult or easy. There have been exceptions to this policy, notably in bankruptcy proceedings, where trustees are sometimes sent into state courts to obtain adjudications on local law questions pertinent to the administration of the bankrupt's estate. It is inappropriate to follow that course here. Congress has decided that the United States should have the benefit of the protection of its own courts in this type of litigation. We properly hold that the federal court, not the state court, has jurisdiction of the controversy. But we beat the devil around the bush when, having taken the litigation out of the state court, we send the parties back to the state court for its construction of Louisiana law, which is the most significant issue in the case. The problem is not only to construe the state statute, but to construe it constitutionally. The federal court can make that construction as readily as the state court. That is the congressional scheme, and we should not change it by judicial fiat. And a fiat is an official order from a person or a group in authority. That's what a fiat is. All right, I know that was probably difficult, but that's okay. Good practice. All right. Let's go ahead and we'll start off with an easier transcript before we do our actual court case for voice. Okay. All right. This is the dog transcript that we've been working on. And defense. Start off at 16, work our way to 100. Is that the name of a lady or a family? No, that's the name of that lady. So it's Mrs. Andrew? Yes. So was the white and brown dog barking at Mrs. Andrews' dogs? One of them. The white and brown one was, and the other one was barking at our dogs. Let's just talk about the white and brown one right now. So when you first saw the white and brown dog that evening, it was barking at Mrs. Andrews' dog? Yes. Can you tell me what kind of dog Mrs. Andrew had? No. And was Mrs. Andrews' dog on its side of the fence? Yes. And was the white and brown Akita on the outside of the fence? Yes. Okay, let's talk about the light brown dog with the dark brown spots. All right. Had it been barking at your dogs? Yes. So had it been barking at Max? Yeah. Where was Max? In the fence. So Max was inside the fence? Yes. Where was the light brown dog with the dark brown spots? On the outside. Did you have any other dogs at the same time you had Max? Yes. What other dogs did you have? A Rottweiler and some puppies, baby Rottweilers. Okay, what was the Rottweiler's name? Lace. Lace, like as in a tissue? Or, yeah. Was Lace a boy, girl, a boy dog, or a girl dog? Girl. And how old were the puppies? About a couple weeks old. Were they Lace's puppies? No, they were our other dog's puppies. So the light brown dog with the dark brown spots, that Akita, was barking at Max and Lace? Yes. And where was your other Rottweiler? They were in a room, one of the rooms. So you had another girl, Rottweiler, who was in the house? Yes. What was the other Rottweiler's name? Honey. Honey, like the honey you put in tea or what bees make? I don't know. Well, bees make honey, right? Uh-huh. So was it the same name, honey? Yeah. Honey was inside the house? Yeah. But Max and Lace were outside? Uh-huh. Is that a yes? Yes. They were both inside your yard? Yes. Were they barking at the Akita that was light brown with the dark brown spots? Yeah. When the three dogs were barking at each other, where were they? They were by the fence, like a couple feet down from the corner that goes on to the driveway. How far away were they from you? Are you able to tell me? No. What were you doing when the three dogs were barking at each other? I was just sitting on the fence watching them. Were you sitting on the fence or standing on the driveway? Standing on the driveway. When you saw the three dogs barking at each other, did you think about it or no? Were you scared when you saw the three dogs barking at each other? Sort of. What were you scared of? I don't know. Were they making a lot of noise? Yeah. Were they growling? Yes. Okay. Were you outside the fence? Yes. How long did the three dogs bark at each other? For about 5 minutes. Okay. In that 5 minutes, did you go inside the house? No. What did you do in that 5 minutes? Just watched them. Did you and your brothers talk while you were watching the dogs bark for that maybe 5 minutes? Yeah. What did you talk about? About baseball practice. After the dogs were running back and forth, were they still barking? Yeah. Do you remember what happened next? I don't know. So the Akita that was light brown with dark brown spots, was it on the outside of the fence? Yes. It was barking at Lace and Honey, right? Lace and Max. Lace and Max. Thank you. All right. Now, what's the next thing you remember happening? The dog went on the driveway and started growling. This is the light brown and dark brown Akita. Yeah. What did you do when it came on the driveway and started to growl? I started to climb the fence. Was it a chain link fence? Yes. How high was it? I don't know, about 6 feet. Taller than you? Yeah. As tall as your stepdad? Yes. As tall as your mom? Yes. Now, some chain link fences have a pole on top. Did this chain link fence have a pole on top? Yes. So the pole went crosswise along the top? Yes. Why did you start to climb the fence? I don't know. Well, there's nothing wrong with climbing the fence, okay? Is there a reason you climbed the fence instead of running around to the side or some other reason? That's all I'm trying to find out. No. Did you want to get away from the light brown dog with the dark brown spots? Yes. Now, when you were climbing the fence, what did you do with the baseball bat? I just dropped it. Was it an aluminum bat? It was metal. When you started climbing the fence, where was Josh? He took off running to the neighbor's house. Which neighbor? The neighbor that lives like on the side of our house. The house goes out this way, and then you just turn that way. And then the neighbor's house is right there. Do you know your neighbor's name? Yeah. What is the neighbor's name? Glenna. Glenna. What is Glenna's last name? I don't know. Is she a girl or a lady? A lady. Older or younger than your mom? Older. So you saw Josh run towards Glenna's house? Yes. All right, so let's switch transcripts. All right. And it looks like, well, it's going to start out with plaintiff, but then it's going to court because there's a little bit of colloquy. Okay, how are we doing on time? Okay, good. All right, and I'm going to just pick right up at 100 where we left off, okay? Here we go. Can I call Cindy Netter? Mrs. Netter, please come forward. Would you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly state that the testimony you shall give in the matter now pending before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. Please be seated and state your first and last name for the record. Cindy Netter. Okay, counsel. Did you and Mr. Netter ever receive a check from his parents? Yes, we did. And do you recall when that was? Not the exact date. It was prior to purchasing our home in 2006. And the amount. Do you recall what the amount was? $120,000. Who is that written out to? I believe Steve and myself. Your Honor, I have pre-marked some exhibits. So this ends up being exhibit number 14 on mine in every reference, and everything else, if we could mark things out of order. Marked for identification 14. Yes, 14. May I approach, Your Honor? Yes, you may. Exhibit 14. Would you take a look at that and describe it for me? It's a check from his parents made out to both Steve and myself for $120,000, signed by his father. And the date, 1/21/06. Is there a notation in the memo area? or this area here? Yes, there is. And what does that say? Loan. Was that there when you signed it? I don't believe it was. Would you look at that? Does that appear to be Mr. Stan Netter's handwriting? I object. That's not within the personal knowledge of this witness. She has testified that the signature on the check was his signature. Mr. Anderson, can you lay a foundation concerning her? Have you ever seen Mr. Stan Netter's signature before? Yes, I have. And his handwriting? Yes, I have. And does that appear to be his signature on that check? Yes, it does. Does that appear to be his handwriting where it has the names written on there? Yes. Does it appear to be his handwriting where loan is written? It would be hard for me to say. A lot of the letters, take a look at there are 2 signatures on the back. Yes, there are. Do you recognize those? Yes, I do. And whose signatures are they? The top one is mine, and the bottom one is Stephen's. Do you contend that this was a loan to the 2 of you? No, I don't. It never was intended as a loan? Not to my knowledge, no. I never discussed it with his parents. I thought it was a gift. You never discussed the issue with his parents? What was it? A gift. Did you know it was coming? Yes, I did. How did you know it was coming? Steve told me. He said that they were giving you $120,000 as a nice gift. That his father was, yes. Now you know that we contend it was a loan. Do you know whether or not anything was paid as far as interest on this? Not to my knowledge. Okay, so let's do some read back. All right. And this is going to be defense. Here we go. First time we'll be at 100, then we'll do it again at 80 and then 60. Although you heard glass breaking, you didn't see anyone pitching a stone. I would see arms go up and rocks let loose. You would see that? Yes, I would. Were you able to see who these people were? I tried not to. Why not? That's a very hard question to answer. I didn't want to assist the police in putting anyone in jail. It's that simple. I have been in jail myself, and I just can't see it. You are saying that at a certain time, you did hear glass breaking. and you say that you saw arms raised, throwing stones at the glass, but you avoided seeing who was doing this. At times, I did see the people who were throwing them, but I didn't know them. I had never seen them before. I just moved in this community. If it were someone you did know, could you have seen him at all times? If I had been keeping an eye on him, well, not if you had been keeping an eye on him, just simply in the course of standing there, would you have been able to identify everyone who threw an object at the time that the glass was breaking? Would you restate your question, please? All right. So let's do that again at 80. Here we go. Although you heard glass breaking, you didn't see anyone pitching a stone. I would see arms go up and rocks let loose. You would see that? Yes, I would. Were you able to see who these people were? I tried not to. Why not? That's a very hard question to answer. I didn't want to assist the police in putting anyone in jail. It's that simple. I have been in jail myself, and I just can't see it. You are saying that at a certain time, you did hear glass breaking, and you say that you saw arms raised, throwing stones at the glass, but you avoided seeing who was doing this. At times, I did see the people who were throwing them, but I didn't know them. I had never seen them before. I just moved in this community. If it were someone you did know, could you have seen him at all times? If I had been keeping an eye on him? Well, not if you had been keeping an eye on him. Just simply in the course of standing there, would you have been able to identify everyone who threw an object at the time that the glass was breaking? Would you restate your question, please? All right, so last time at 60. Although you heard glass breaking, you didn't see anyone pitching a stone. I would see arms go up and rocks let loose. You would see that? Yes, I would. Were you able to see who these people were? I tried not to. Why not? That's a very hard question to answer. I didn't want to assist the police in putting anyone in jail. It's that simple. I have been in jail myself, and I just can't see it. You are saying that at a certain time you did hear glass breaking, and you say that you saw arms raised throwing stones at the glass, but you avoided seeing who was doing this. At times, I did see the people who were throwing them, but I didn't know them. I had never seen them before. I just moved in this community. If it were someone you did know, could you have seen him at all times? If I had been keeping an eye on him. Well, not if you had been keeping an eye on him. Just simply in the course of standing there, would you have been able to identify everyone who threw an object at the time that the glass was breaking? Would you restate your question, please? All right. So just let me know when you find your spot.
I'm there.
All right. If you want, I'll take the first one.
All right.
Okay, here we go. Question. Although you heard glass breaking, you didn't see anyone pitching a stone? Answer, I would see arms go up and rocks let loose.
Question. You would see that? Answer. Yes, I would.
Question, were you able to see who these people were? Answer, I tried not to.
Question. Why not? Answer. That's a very hard question to answer. I didn't want to assist the police in putting anyone in jail. It's that simple. I have been in jail myself, and I just can't see it.
Question, you are saying that at a certain time you did hear glass breaking, and you say that you saw arms raised throwing stones at the glass, but you avoided seeing who was doing this? Answer, at times I did see the people who were throwing them, but I didn't know them. I had never seen them before. I just moved in this community.
Question. If it were someone you did know, could you have seen him at all times? Answer: if I had been keeping an eye on him.
Perfect. Question, well, not if you had been keeping an eye on him, just simply in the course of standing there, would you have been able to identify everyone who threw an object at the time that the glass was breaking? Answer, would you restate your question, please? How'd you do?
I did okay on 60. I feel really rusty today
Yeah.
because I haven't touched my machine for a while. So,
Yeah, I'm sure.
yeah.
Well, maybe today just listen to some recorded material, and it'll, get back in the groove, and it'll come back in a couple days. You'll feel good again if you just
Yeah.
spend some extra time,
Yep.
So, all right. Well, you have a great rest of your day.
You too.
All right. And I will see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Sounds good.
Okay. Have a good
All right,
day.
Jill. You too.
Okay,
Bye.